Hello everyone, my name is Stupid Ninja, and today I'm finally going to show you how to build my mini Lego Bumblebee movie, Shockwave. Shockwave was only seen for a few seconds in the beginning of the movie, but those scenes were arguably the best part of the entire movie. I think Shockwave in the movie was done very well. He wasn't given too much screen time, obviously, because he was only seen for just a few seconds, but he looked really nice, and his voice was spot on from what we heard, and so I think that was really pretty cool.
Destroy the launch pad. Let none escape.
Now, before we really get into this, I have to say that this thing does not transform. So I guess if you want one that does, you can go check out my old version by clicking the card in the corner of the video. So just click the card up there, and that will take you to my old version of Shockwave. He doesn't look quite this good, but he does transform into a gun, and it's pretty cool. So if you want a version that transforms, you can go check that one out. This one does not transform, but this looks so much better and is very posable, and I like it a lot more. Now that's out of the way, first I'll talk about detail, then I'll get into the articulation, then I will get into some comparisons with some other transformers, and lastly I'll show you how to build this guy. So, first up, the detail. I tried to get this guy as close as I could to the pictures we have of Shockwave from the movie. We didn't see his legs, as far as I know. I couldn't find any pictures of his legs, but there's lots of pictures of his upper half, and so I was able to put this together. He does have, of course, those ear spikes coming up out of his head, but I couldn't find any pieces small enough to add those in, so I just didn't. He has the cool shoulder spike tower stack thingies. I don't know what you'd call them. He has the huge cannon on his arm, and the tube just connects to his gun to his arm again. It was not connected to his back in the movie, from what I saw. He has the very large thighs. I think that looks really good. I thought that was a very prominent feature of his film version and wanted to communicate that accurately with this Lego version. So, yeah. Put these big 1x3s on the front, and so I think that looks really good. Did not know what his legs look like again, so I just made them nice and sturdy and very posable. So there you have that. And the gun on his arm. Really love how this came out. Has those circles there. Really like that. Really simple build for the gun as well. The gun's supposed to look like this, with the little piece like that sticking out above the barrel, but I actually like having this missile on the end, making the barrel longer, and I think that looks really cool. And of course, it can shoot, which is really cool if you like to play with these guys. And this guy is sturdy enough to play with. Only thing that I'd say watch out for is his waist, because it does swivel and it's only connected by one stud, you can see there. So yeah, that's not the best connection that I've ever done, but if you negate that, he's pretty playable and pretty sturdy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This little tank thing on his back. Didn't see any images of his back, so I just built it similar to what we saw of Optimus Prime's, where he had this cylindrical piece on the back of him, and I thought that looked really cool, so I just added that in there. Yeah, that's all the detail there is to talk about, and now I think we can get into articulations. Obviously, first of all, he can look up a little bit, down a little bit. He can turn his head, and that is done because these headlight bricks are slightly angled down, so it gives enough room for those pieces in there to move, because the headlight bricks have the holes in the backs of them, so it gives just enough space for the sides of this 1x2 hinge to move into those holes. And I think it works very nicely. Pretty sturdy, not much breakage, and I think it looks really clean, so yeah. Then obviously, as you saw, it can rotate at that headlight brick. Then it can also obviously rotate at the arm, and the shoulder pad is just above the head, so it doesn't hit the head, so you can get a lot of shoulder movement out of that. Obviously 360, can move it down that far. Bend at the elbow, it can bend backwards as well, but you know, who does that? Waist swivel. Leg moves forward that much, back that much. If you move up this butt panel, it can move back further, but not by that much. His leg can kick out quite a bit, and he has a very nice 90-degree bend at the knee, and then this panel can flare out if that does anything for you. I don't know what it would actually do. And then this arm has the hand on it, and it can also bend at 90 degrees, and then the hand can rotate. You just have to hold on to this neck brace piece, because it's likely it would break off or something. So yeah, just hold on to that, and the hand does rotate. Now we can get into some comparisons. Here he is compared to Optimus Prime, and his head sideways, from the Bumblebee movie. And as you can see, he is taller than Optimus Prime, which that's how I think it should be. I think Shockwave should be bigger than Optimus Prime. There's that. Now here is Shockwave compared to Soundwave, and he's about as tall as Soundwave, a bit taller as it looks, but pretty much the exact same height. Their chests are at different heights though, so yeah, and their waistlines, but that's pretty much it. Now here is Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie compared to Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie, and yeah, he's obviously 3 times as tall. So there you have that. Now that we've gotten all that stuff done, we can get right into how to build this guy. Here is the entirety of his body all taken apart. So you can just look at that, get the pieces you need. And now we can start building everything. So you're just going to want to start with this core piece here. So the core is obviously just this Travis brick connected to one of these clip pieces. Put that on all the way in. And then you want to take one of these newer 1x2 hinge pieces, and these are very, very useful for many things. So just take that, take a nice yellowish stud, place that right there, pop that right on the bottom, then take a 1x2 jumper plate, pop that on right on the back right there to finish off his head. And you can take a 1x3 for his back, that'll go right there, and it should leave this nice tiny little gap between his head and the body. It makes a very nice separation there. Now you can do the shoulders, which are just these headlight pieces, and as you can see, when they're up against the head like that, the head can't turn, so you have to angle them a little bit so that when you turn this, it fits into the holes of the headlight bricks. So just put those on each side. Now you can put another 2x3 on the front there. Now, for the back of Shockwave, you're going to need 2 1x2s on each side, and then the cylindrical piece in the back is just a headlight brick with one of these little Technic pieces. You could just use a 1x1 cylinder, and that'll just go right there, and then a little purple stud, and that will just pop on to the back right there and look very nice. And then for the front of his body, it's obviously a 1x2 plate with a 1x2 jumper plate on top of that, and then just a 1x1 in black for the weird glass bit. And then another jumper plate with a cheese slope. That will just pop onto each side, creating the shape of his chest. So there you have that. So a nice big body. Now for his abdomen area, you're just going to need another Travis brick. Have the anti-stud on the top. You can just take one of these, pop that on just like that for now. And then take a 1x2 plate with a 1x2 smooth plate on top of that. Pop that right in the middle, right there. And then a clip, 1x1 clip, and one of these pieces. You can either put it on like this, or you can put it on like this. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's how it should look. Now you can take this 2x2 jumper plate and just turn it at an angle. Kind of helps the angle of his body a little bit, and the body will just pop right into the middle right there, and everything should look pretty good. That is Shockwave's entire body. Now we can move on to the legs. Here are all the pieces you'll need to build the leg, just laid out right there. Let's get into actually building the thing. What you're going to want to start with is a 1x4, then just place a 1x3 hinge right on top. Then for the foot, it's just one of these 2x2 hinge pieces with the 3 bars and then a wing piece right there. And it'll pop on right there, and then just a stud and a cheese slope right on there for the toe. And then for the shin, I just use a cheese slope, a 1x2 cheese slope, and that works just fine. And then for the knee pad, it's just a 1x2 arch piece. That'll go right there and look very nice, gives a nice shape to the leg. You can just use a 1x2 flat piece right there if you want, instead of the cheese slope. What you're going to want to use is a 1x2 bracket piece. That'll go on right there, just like that. And then for the inside of the leg, it's another bracket piece with a plate on it. And then a 1x3 for the back of his leg. And finally, to round it all out, a 1x2 slope piece, just to give him a nice heel and to follow the shape of that wing piece. And then finally, the last piece on the bottom of the leg is just this tooth piece right here for some mechanic detail. And that looks really nice, and that is the finished bottom half of the leg. Now for the thigh, the very prominent thighs that he had in the movie, you're going to use a 1x3 hinge piece with a little 1x1 clip. That will go onto a 1x3 right there, and then just a 1x2 horizontal piece for the knee, and then of course a 1x2 bracket piece going downward, pop on right in the top with 1x1 right there, and then a 1x2 arch piece to round that all off. Now this used to just be a 1x2 instead of the bracket piece, and it was just really flat. Then I decided to add this to give the thigh a little bit of dimension. So this is just a 1x3 plate piece, and that will go on right like that. So there that is. Now you just pop these together and you have a full leg. Now build that in reverse and you'll get both of them. Now we can move on to building the arms. Here is everything sort of laid out, just right there, so if you need to go find those pieces. Now we can just get right into how to build this. So I think I'll just start with the shoulder, and then you can replicate that, and then make both the shoulders, then just work on the forearms. Obviously both shoulders are exactly the same. This one I used a black hinge right there, and then this one I used a gray hinge, just because this is the one for the gun arm and this is the one for the regular arm. Now the gun, actually the rope does go in right here, like that. So I think I'll just do that right now. But that is just replaced by a stud on the other shoulder, so you can just see right there. I just have a purple stud right here instead of the rope. So yeah, you can keep that in mind. I like to face the rope this direction. Now, just going to want to use one of these pieces, just a 2x2 corner piece, and then an arch piece right there for the shoulder, and then just a 1x2 to finish everything off. And so you should get this nice shoulder look. And yeah, just a T-bar and a 2x2 clip right there. So now you have both of your shoulders. You can just get to building the forearms. I think I'll just start with the regular forearm first. And it's very, very simple. Obviously a 1x2 bracket piece with a purple cheese slope on top, then just an arch piece with a stud right there to fill it in. You can use a gray stud if you want for more contrast. Then for the bottom of the arm, it's just a 1x3 hinge with just some studs for some detail, and then the neck brace piece and the clip for the hand right there. And that will just pop onto the shoulder, and that is your finished right arm. You can set that down, and now we can build the gun arm, which is a little bit more complicated. And yeah, so you're going to want to start with a 1x3 hinge piece and a stud on the bottom. Then take your bracket piece with the cheese slope, pop that on top. Just take your arch piece with the, you can use a purple one by the way, but take an arch piece with the clip, the vertical clip, pop that right on right there. And then you can just use one of these just for a little bit of detail. Just a bracket piece with a flat stud on it, just looks pretty nice. Now for the gun, it's simply an actual Lego gun that shoots with a stud and then cylinder for the barrel. And then this piece will just clip in right here for a little bit of extra detail that I really like. And now lastly, just one of these shield pieces and a 2x2 clip with one of these weird stud pieces with a stud on the side for some detail, and the rope will go right in right there, and this entire thing will pop onto the bottom of the gun piece just like that, not on the purple stud but just on the entirety of the gun. So yeah, there you have those two pieces. Then obviously just snap that in there, and you have the arm completed. Now that you have all the parts built, it's time to bring everything together. So what you're going to want to do is simply take the body and then obviously just attach the legs to the Travis brick for the hips, just like that. Then you have the legs, and then the arms just slot right into these headlight bricks. And there you have that. So that's pretty much the entire build. Closing thoughts, I really like how this thing came out. I think it's one of my better Decepticons that I've built yet. I know he doesn't transform, but it really doesn't bother me because he looks really nice, and I mostly display my Transformers in robot mode anyway. And I never really transformed my Shockwave because he's not a character you keep in gun mode. Gun mode's more of a novelty for him, and I just didn't think it was necessary for this, especially since I wanted to do more detail than anything else. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For closing thoughts, I do really love the way this build came out. I think it looks really nice. I'm fine with the fact that it doesn't actually transform because I never transformed my previous Shockwave anyway, and he's not a character that you keep in gun mode. I think the gun mode is more of a novelty than anything else. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to build this, or you have built this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Leave a comment if you have a build to suggest, or if you just see some improvements I can make to this. And yeah, that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys in the next video.